Now, it's pretty obvious from the name of this channel that we are bullish on Fogo Chain, Fogees Hub. We're very, very bullish on Fogo Chain, which is why we cover all the news. However, in order to be very, very successful, in our opinion, as a blockchain, as a community, we have to know the competition. Now, if you don't know what Fogo Chain is, you probably would. And if you're new to the channel, fantastic. Subscribe, like, etc. Fogo.io. Fogo is the fastest layer 1 blockchain, fire dancer in its purest form. The goal, of course, is perps and spot trading, which we'll cover in other videos. But basically, just trading crypto and real world assets and stocks and whatever can be done on a blockchain as a competitor to the major stock exchanges around the world. Having said that, there are competitors out there, and it's super relevant that we understand them. Sun Tzu says, if you know your enemy and yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you neither know the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. I think it's pretty important that we change enemy, because it's hundreds and hundreds of years later, and replace them with competitor. So we definitely think it's worth outlining the lay of the land and exploring other competitors. If we understand the competition, we learn how to overcome them. We started by covering Hyperliquid. They are the #1 competitor. Today, we're going to be talking about Bullet. But before going into Bullet, let's first explain what perpetuals are and why this matters. Perpetuals, crypto, and futures, TradFi. Both can offer leverage, but the main difference is futures have a fixed expiration date, example, monthly or quarterly. The contract is settled at the expiration date. Perpetuals, on the other hand, they don't have an expiration date. You can hold them indefinitely. You can be longing SOL or BTC, or you can short, and you can keep this open for as long as you don't get liquidated. And this happens because there is a funding rate to keep the price close to the underlying asset spot price. So what that typically means is in a bull market, you long. And then the people that are longing, they pay a funding rate to the people that are shorting to keep it as close to the underlying asset spot price. Every now and then it switches in a bull market, but then in a bear market, the people that are shorting, they pay the longs. That's typically how it happens. All the links will be below if you want to read through them, but popular in crypto markets are perps, crypto perpetual contracts. They are derivative products that allow traders to speculate on the price of cryptocurrencies without owning the underlying asset. And a derivative means it derives from something. So it's actually deriving from the crypto, but you're not actually owning that underlying asset. So Bullet is redefining on-chain trading and is tackling this from a different angle. That's what their founder Tristan said. We're building the on-chain NASDAQ. Essentially, unlike Fogo, who is building an L1, Bullet is building on top of Solana's L1, which makes Bullet an L2, aka a Solana network extension. That means it utilizes Solana's current validator set. On Bullet, block space is dedicated exclusively to traders. This means that they don't want performance to be affected by general purpose activity happening on Solana, like NFT mints or another dApp. Bullet is designed to enhance decentralized applications and on-chain trading. They plan to leverage zero-knowledge cryptography to enable high performance. Bullet integrates core DeFi primitives like perpetual futures, spot, and lending directly into its network, aiming for sub 2 millisecond transaction execution and thousands of transactions per second. At present, you can see on testnet, their latency is 5.7 milliseconds, and their TPS, because it's testnet, is 61. What's not clear is if they are also using the ZKs, zero knowledge proofs, to mask the on-chain order books, or if they're still intending to show them as is. Let's just have a look at this tweet again for a minute. Hyperliquid does 70 milliseconds. That's their goal, but it says here 200 millisecond execution. Binance is 20 milliseconds. Bullet is aiming for 2 milliseconds. So it does sound very ambitious, maybe even over ambitious. Basically, this seems to be possible because they don't wait for block confirmations. They're using transaction streaming, which means orders are executed as they arrive. As for the TPS, we couldn't find sources that outlined an exact number, but for context, Hyperliquid is doing 200,000 TPS. And looking at the testnet landing page, which we just showed, basically the latency is very, very low, and the TPS, it's testnet. It just depends on how many people are testing and stress testing this. If we have a look at this, which is from Abigail, they are the core contributor, this basically shows the roadmap. Now, based on this October 2024 article, which will be linked below, Bullet's architecture includes an atomic order book, and a sophisticated derivatives risk engine. It supports multi-collateral trading, allowing users to trade using assets like Sol, BTC, USDC, ETH. The platform offers up to 100x leverage, enabled by its enhanced dynamic risk engine. This also includes features like partial liquidations and auto deleveraging to maintain market stability. However, judging by this article, the team seems to have missed the roadmap delivery dates. They are still on testnet, and they plan to be on mainnet earlier, Q1 2025. Bullet is an evolution of Zeta Market's Perps DEX on Solana. Bullet has processed over $15 billion in notional perpetual and options trading volume in testnet. Here are some lessons learned, which is very important because remember, Fogo Chain needs to learn their own lessons. They need to learn the lessons from others. So, 400 millisecond block time, which is what Solana has, it's too slow for market makers. Network congestion equals unreliable trading. Toxic MEV flow, no real market efficiency. Now, as mentioned, it's in testnet, and testnet is a different ball game to mainnet, but it's still a worthy thing. Bullet plans to introduce features like social trading, passive income vaults, and a rapid asset framework to swiftly list new tokens and ensure deep liquidity from day one. You can find more info on the documentation page, including, for example, how they're going to tackle account abstraction and use Pith Laser as an oracle. We'll have to wait for more details on how exactly they will structure those features. Existing partnerships, this will be their bridging solution. This is a team building ZK technology, and this is their on-chain market makers, likely to build LP vault strategies. Here's our closing thoughts. Bullet, they're tackling the same challenge, but they're targeting a different solution with different architecture. And at first glance, it sounds like it's reliant on Solana's own execution and upcoming upgrades, including Alpenglow. One clear differentiation of Fogo is that they cannot curate their validator set. They're stuck with whatever sustains Solana's L1. The lesson, however, is clear. DeFi, it isn't one with hype. It's one with milliseconds, trust, and relentless iteration. So let's let the race continue.